There is this idea concept in, I want to say, the self-development world, maybe self-help, maybe self-development. I like self-development better. And the concept is you are enough. And if you're familiar with it, you've probably heard Brene Brown talk about it. And I most recently came across Marissa Peer on YouTube talking about this concept. And it sounds pretty simple. It's only 3 words. And people go, oh, yeah, I get that. Like, I'm enough. I love myself. I think, taking care of myself is important. Yeah, I get that. But I think it's a really tricky concept, and I've had trouble wrapping my head around it. Maybe I'm dumb, I don't know, but I've really struggled with exactly what it means, because for me, at the same time, I also think of the concept or the thing that people say of no man's an island. The idea of we're all interdependent on each other. Don't try to be so independent. Don't try to isolate yourself. We need help from each other. We're just one big community of humans. And that, interdependence is a healthy thing. And I've had trouble accepting that interdependence is supposed to be something that is healthy. And also this concept of you are enough, because for me, the you are enough is like, okay, well, I don't need anything else because I can take care of myself. I'm self-sufficient. Like, you are enough, I was kind of equating with being self-sufficient. But at the same time, how does that fit in with the importance of interdependence among human beings? And how healthy it is to rely on each other in non-codependent ways. So I've struggled with the you are enough thing, because to me I feel like it becomes an afterthought to people, because it's so it sounds so simple, but I don't think it's so simple. So when I started hearing Marissa Peer talk about it, and I'll link to some Brene Brown stuff and Marissa Peer in the description box below, she refers to it a lot in terms of celebrities or people who need everyone to love them. And and her explanation of that helped it sink in a little bit more to me of what you are enough means. So she talks about people who want attention from everyone, people who aspire to be celebrities, don't feel enough. They don't feel like just being themselves is fine, and they don't love themselves, so they need the whole world to love them. And on a very personal level, if they have 1 or 2 people in their lives who love them and care about them and want to be with them, that's not enough either, because they need everyone to love them. And it all goes back to them not thinking that they're enough and not loving themselves. And so that kind of helped me get it a little bit more, because it's not shunning the importance of interdependence. You can be enough and still be part of a healthy interdependent relationship. But it helped me understand this idea of you don't have to prove anything. You don't have to figure anything out. You don't have to make anyone like you or love you, because you just being a person and being a human, just being yourself is enough. You don't need to have a bunch of accomplishments behind you to gain respect. Like, just being in the world, doing your thing is enough. And relating it back to the celebrity stuff, it's like you don't have to, those people wouldn't have to want the whole world to love them if they knew that just being themselves was important. And I think like that helps me understand it more. Like, you're important just being yourself. You don't have to have all these accolades behind you. You don't have to have the love of the world. So how do writers and artists take this in? Because I understand the concept more, but it's like, well, writers need portfolios, artists need portfolios. We have to get people to like us in order to build audiences, so that we can have, profitable careers as writers and artists. So I was thinking about this for a while, because I'm like, there has to be a way for the two to coexist. And the solution that I came up with is being so proud of your work, doing the work that makes you feel so good about what you're doing. Really, it builds so much strength that the people that like you or the people that don't like you don't matter. It's building your enoughness into your work ethic. And so, let's think about that for a second. My mouth is really dry today, sorry. So in my last video, I mentioned my new kid in clarity, and I think that kind of led into how I was thinking about this topic as well, because he doesn't care how much I've written. He doesn't care about my portfolio. Like, me just being here is and taking care of him is what's important. I don't know, it's giving me, more perspective, and to think about this idea of how much pride you can take in your work and how that pushes you forward, because you just have to keep going. If you're a working writer or artist, you just have to keep going. You can't get tripped up on the people that like you or the people that don't like you. If you're so focused on that, a lot of people stop, because then when people stop liking them, they get discouraged. And if people never like them for a while, they get discouraged. And it's just, there can be so much focus on how your work is received. And all working writers and artists will tell you that they just have to keep going. And I think that drive to keep going comes from the concept of you are enough with your own pride in your work, and you doing such a good job at the end of the day, no matter what you've accomplished, the idea of saying to yourself, like, I'm really proud of the work that I did today. And some days there'll be a lot of work, and some days it'll be a little bit of work, but the you are enoughness for artists and writers is having a really big sense of pride that keeps you producing work, no matter what. No matter what's going on in the outside world, because it takes a really long time to build an audience. So this has helped me because, it's not like I was struggling. A long time ago, I realized that I had to just ignore how my work is received. So that's helped a lot. And I mostly have, I don't get too caught up when people like what I do, and I don't get too caught up when people don't like what I do, because I know it's always going to be both. But lately, I've really been sitting with the idea of taking time each day to just be really proud of what I did. And it motivates you to keep you going. And so this is that. I think that is how this concept applies to people who work in businesses where they do have to build audiences, and where the audience is important, but that you don't let the audience define your value. Ooh, I'm going to put that here. You don't let the audience define your value, because you define your value. If you are not already subscribed to the Revision Fairy channel and you'd like to join me every week, hit the red subscribe button below the video and tap the notification bell, because I publish videos on Wednesdays and you'll get a little note letting you know that I have a new video for you. I will see you next week.